guys? Cowboy Rick here. Just want to get into it, talking a little bit more about the draft, man. Got a couple of topics I want to talk about today, man. And with that being said, man, let's dive right into it. I was listening the other day to, I think it was Big Game James and Law Nation, and then they were live and they were talking about, just talking about draft, position, drafting what position they should draft per round, first, second, third, fourth round. And it just got me thinking of how I think the Cowboys should go, man. What I think their best path to lead for them to have the most success in this year's draft, man. And with that being said, I think in the first round, man, I believe the Cowboys should go either offensive line and defensive line, man. I just think in this year's draft, a lot of the positions that I know the other Cowboy fans wants to go, like wide receiver, tight end, I just believe that you can find those later on in the rounds. I know the draft is somewhat pretty deep with tight ends. I don't necessarily think you have to get one in the first round. So I think most of the other positions that Cowboys fans would want, I think it could hold off. I think the offensive line and the defensive line group kind of diminishes as the rounds are going to go on. So I think we would need to address the offensive line and defensive line. And if it was up to me, I think Cowboys are best fitted if they got an offensive lineman. And if I had to guess what I guess a player that I would want the Cowboys to get if he slips to us, or if he's right there in the 20s, I'd want the Cowboys to trade up, which I doubt they will. They don't really have a history, or they don't trade up a lot, or to get players. But if Darnell Wright is there, man, at tackle, man, I think the Cowboys should consider moving up to him, or moving up to get him if he's in in the mid 20s or whatever. Nothing too big of a drastic of a jump for the Cowboys to have to trade to get him. But if he somehow can slip to us, man, I think he'd be a great addition, man. I think what I would do is I would have him and Tyler Smith compete for the left tackle spot. And whoever wins gets the spot, and the other guy goes to guard, man. I think that's a good problem to have. I would want them to battle it out. If Tyler Smith wins, then hey, we already know what Tyler Smith is. He's going to be a dog at left tackle. And, you move Darnell Wright to guard. I think he can, thrive in being a guard. Or if not, hey, we already seen Tyler Smith at guard too, so you know what you have in Tyler Smith. And Darnell Wright can be your left tackle, man. And I think obviously Still's going to be your hands down, your right tackle. I think he'll be ready to go by the time the season starts. I believe his rehab and all that stuff is going really, really, really well. So I think if you can get Darnell Wright or another tackle that the y'all fans think that could be a day one starter, which I'm pretty sure the tackles that are going to be there will be, I think, with us getting that, I think it will solidify our line. Our offense will be explosive because Dak will have time to sit back in the pocket, do his reads, do his checkdowns. The running game will be more efficient, and that's when the Cowboys are the deadliest, is when our run game is on point, because we're blocking, creating the holes, and Dak has time in the pocket. I think if we could do that in the first or second round, I think Cowboys, that'd be the best way to go. Or if not, maybe defensive line. And the reason why I say defensive line, I'd not so much edge. I would go defensive tackle, man. I think you need somebody to pair up with Hankins, man. I think Osa is a very good defensive tackle, man, but he's not the run-stopping, big, nasty monster that we need. I think Osa gets pressure whenever he's on there, but I think he's more of a rotational player. He's on the passing downs, the 3rd and 8, where they're going to throw it, man. Put Osa in there. I think he can get pressure up the middle and get the sack. But I don't think he's the big nasty monster you want to pair up with Hankins, where it's 1st and 5 or 1st and 10. They're going to run it. You need that big nasty monster defensive tackle, man. I remember when David Irving was here, man. It was awesome, bro, because he was up in the middle, he was clogging the holes, getting tackles for losses, stopping the run, And I think if you can get a big nasty defensive tackle to pair up with Hankins, man, I think it makes the whole defense as a whole better, because like I said, it just gives it doesn't give the quarterback enough time to sit back in the pocket, be comfortable. He knows what's coming up the middle. He knows he can't run it. It makes our defensive players, like I said, better, because you got the middle stopping the run, so that way it's taking the linebackers away of having to cram up the defensive line, because they're going to need help. It allows them to sit back, play their positions, and so on and so forth. So I think, man, offensive, defensive lineman in the first or the second round, man, for sure. I think I'm shooting more for first, man. And is going to my next topic, which in the second round, I believe the Cowboys, man, if I was the Cowboys, I would want to go for, if I was in the second round, is Darnell Washington, man. I think, and a lot of people are going to say, well, I like um, Michael Mayer. I like Dalton Kincaid, and I like all of them too. I mean, by all means, if we drafted one of those in the second round or the first round or whatever, it'd be fine and all, man. But I just think it could wait to the second round, man. I think out of Mayer and Kincaid, I think Darnell Washington has the best upside, man. He has size, he has the weight, he has the blocking experience. He's big, strong. He can catch the ball. He has the more upside, and he has the size, man. I mean, he's almost like an extra offensive lineman, man. I think with our tight end group that we have now with Hendershot and Ferguson, man, I think those players, they're already a great 1-2 punch, man, right there, man. I think those two guys compete against each other, and they just make each other better. I think we have an outstanding tight end coach. I think he'll do a really good job with Darnell Washington. I'd have him compete with those three, have a big three-headed monster. I think that, they would just make Darnell Washington better. Darnell Washington would make them better because, like you said, you're creating that competition. I think after Schultz, I think the Cowboys know that they have a glaring need at tight end. And I think that the Cowboys could create that competition by drafting somebody like Darnell Washington in the second round. Now, if they go and get like Sam Laporta and all that stuff, that's fine too, but I just think he has the more upside, and he has like I said, the upside, the size. He's coachable. He has everything you'd want in a tight end. Look like Kyle Pitts, but just with more weight, man. I think he'd be really good for the Cowboys in round 2, man. I just think that if he got coached up, man, I think he'd be an outstanding addition to the Cowboys. He'd make Dak's life a little bit better with the check down with Darnell Washington, and so on and so forth, man. And with that brings me to my next topic, which is going to be in the round 3, man. I think the Cowboys should target running back, man. Yes, I know the running back class is deep, but I think after the 3rd round, it really starts to diminish as well. I think other teams know that as well. If I was a Cowboys, I would. Keandre Miller, man, really brings a bell to me, man. On top of that, Zach Cabinet, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry, from UCLA. I think one of those two guys in round 3 would be a good addition, man. When it comes to Zach, man, from the running back out of UCLA, kind of reminds me of DeMarco Murray, man. He runs through the tackles. He goes north and south, man. He has good vision, man. He's durable, man. He can catch out of the backfield. He has like 30-something touchdowns. He has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. I think he'd be a really good 1-2 punch with Tony Pollard. I think that he'd be a good running back for the Cowboys to grab. Keandre Miller's the same thing, man. He's a little shifty, fast guy. I think both guys run a 4.5. I think Keandre Miller may be a little bit faster, but he's still in that range, man. I think Cowboys don't need a do-it-all running back, man. I just think they need somebody that is like them, that could be a 3rd down back, change it back, and to go alongside with Tony Pollard, and then maybe even Rojo. Maybe they can even split it 3 ways, man, so that way nobody's tired and just keep punishing other people's defense like that. So those are the 2 guys I'd keep my eyes out on, man. I'm going to be making mock drafts, as the days goes on leading up to the draft, so on and so forth, man. But those have been my three rounds on what I think the Cowboys should do positional-wise, so on and so forth, man. And out of round 4 through 7, if it was up to me, man, I think Cowboys should just draft depth, and for for us to create competition, and the other like cornerback, safety. I just think we need to create competition, man. I think Cowboys need to draft for the future. And that point, man, I think that like for sure I would draft cornerback somewhere maybe from the 4th on. I draft cornerback, man. I think that when those cornerbacks that we draft in the 4th, 5th round, I think that those can possibly push out like the likes of Kelvin Joseph, and then just create competition with the other guys to see who's a better man. I think Cowboys just need at this point, if they want to win a Super Bowl, man, I think they just have to play the best man. I know you drafted your other guy, Kelvin Joseph, in the 2nd round or in that 1 year of draft, man. But, man, if he's not it, he's not it, man. You're just wasting space, man. The next guy can come from the 5th round this year and take a spot. And if he can play, man. At this point, we just need depth. We need players that are wanting to play. And I think that's just the bottom line. Cowboys just need to grab players that want to play. Their heads in the game, their minds in the game, their souls in the game. They want to go out there and compete. They want to be the best cornerback. They want to be starting. I don't think Kelvin Joseph is really 100% in playing right now. I think he has his music career he's trying to do, so on and so forth. And that's fine by all means. I hope he makes it doing that too. But Cowboys need players that are ready to come to play and want to play, man. I mean, it's just to that point. We just need that person. We just need that, man. Well, those have been my thoughts so far for the first, pretty much the 7 rounds of where I think the Cowboys should go. So, quick summary: the first round, Cowboys, I wouldn't want them to take offensive line, tackle, possibly maybe even a guard if they're there, or if not, defensive tackle for sure. I think you need that person to pair up. I wouldn't even be mad if they got like Mozzie Smith in the first round, or if like Keanu Bitten from Wisconsin in the second round. One of those two, players like that, man. The Cowboys need to beef up they need to beef up both their offense and defensive line, man. Those are the biggest concerns for us right now. Not really too concerned about wide receiver. We got Cooks, we got CeeDee Lamb, and we got Michael Gallup. I think hopefully he can be who he was in the past. And if that's the case, then we should be solid. Jalen Tolbert's looking good right now, supposedly, but we'll see, man. I mean, I don't see what the Cowboys are doing with that guy. You drafted him in the 3rd round, man. Let that boy play. I know you want him. I know you say, we want him to develop into being a receiver. Well, man, hey, he can run routes by himself, but man, he needs to go out there and play. He needs to go out there and preseason and during the real games. If you don't want to throw him out there to throw him in the fire, that's fine, man. But every game, man, at least give him some reps, man. Let him get that experience, bro. You can run routes all day and catch the ball and look good. But, man, you go out there and compete with a cornerback, man. It's not the same. You know what I mean? Let him play. He already got a penalty from the Green Bay Packers game from not lining up right. Let that boy play, man. Like, you stop babying him. Let him play. Let him get that experience. That's the only way he's going to get it. And so, with that being said, man, let that boy play. Cowboys, man, just please address the needs that we need. I know Cowboys are not oblivious to offensive line, defensive line, tight end, and then the rest. Let it all play out. If they come to you, they come to you. If not, then so be it, man. Well, that's been my time, guys. Let me know, please like and subscribe to my channel if you see it, man. Just want to give a quick, update. I finally got 20 subscribers, man. I know it's not much to other people, but hey, to me, it's something. So if y'all happen to see this channel, I'd really appreciate it if you guys can like and subscribe to my channel. Comment other YouTubers that talk about Cowboys so they can see this channel if y'all could for me. I appreciate it, guys. So I just want to celebrate a little victory with y'all, man, with my 20 subscribers. So hopefully I gain more from y'all guys. I love y'all guys. Out.